we have questions.
Yes.
Some of the questions you would like, but we are here to just confess to.
In fact, at a point, I was attracted to Indians. So
Okay.
when I wanted to
yeah.
get married, that was an idol in my heart.
Hey.
So it took God time to break it.
Hello, I miss you. I love you. You should have come to church earlier. I would have married you. All these things, they are being recorded. Meet me at this hotel. Let's do ABC. Listen. You are being recorded. This is Pastor Gideon. This is Kingdom Matters. Today we are talking about the Apostle Orokpo Michael's interview with Pastor Adeboye on confessions. So I watched the confessions with Apostle Orokpo with Pastor Adeboye over a week ago, and I glossed over it. But while I was going about my business, some of the things started coming back to me, and these 4 things stood out for me. In fact, they struck me, and I thought to share with all of us. I think young ministers especially must watch this interview and take 1 or 2 things from it. In that video, Apostle Orokpo Michael basically did 2 things. He did some teachings and also opened about his life, because it is supposed to be a confession where you talk about some weaknesses and some challenges that you have faced in your Christian and ministerial journey. Now, my focus in this video is not to talk about his messages and not to look into it. I want us to focus on the personal life experience and confessions regarding his come up as a minister of God. Now, the first thing I noted about his confession was that he said at a point he was attracted to Indians, and he wanted to actually marry an Indian woman because of the imagery that was weaved into his heart because of the movies he had watched.
I want to break it into you. So when you had to get married, what are the things that you looked out for?
Yes. So it's a confession time.
It's a confession. I have another one after this one. I have another question after this one.
I noticed that while growing up, maybe that is still part of these things we share. Maybe from the movies we opened to watching as children.
Yeah.
I discovered that I built an image in my heart.
Okay.
What people will call spec.
Yeah.
Probably because when we were growing up, movies we were watching, all the stars would be tall and fair, elegant.
True. Yeah.
So I had this imagery in my heart. My wife would be tall, fair, and
In fact,
elegant.
I wanted to marry a Brazilian lady.
You see that.
Yeah.
In fact, at a point, I was attracted to Indians.
Oh.
This thing. So when I wanted to get married, that was an idol in my heart.
Hey.
So it took God time to break it.
Hmm.
I have to marry his choice. I have to marry his will. But I couldn't. I struggled for a long time.
Now, did you hear that? The fascinating thing is that many of us may not know what actually is driving us from the things we have watched. What we watch and stay on becomes strongholds against our future. Now, if you're a young minister, pay attention. Biblically, we know that temptations come in areas we have desires or lust for. Then from that lust or desire, sin is generated or born, and then sin will lead to death. And the things we watch actually engineer the desires and lust in our hearts, and then makes us go into the way of sin. Let's look at it from the Bible. James 1:12-16 says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him." Now look at the next verse. It says, "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bring forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren." Do you see that? So sin actually is generated from our desires, and the things we stay on engineer and affect our desires. Do you see it? This means that to save yourself from temptations and troubles in the future as a young minister, first gatekeep the things that influence your desires. Check greatly, to a great extent, the things that you watch, the things that you cause your mind to stay on. Measure carefully the things you watch and allow into your space. Those communications will soon affect what you desire for and what you lust after, and that will soon become a snare and make you defenseless in the face of temptations. Have you seen it? Evil communications corrupt good manners. So if you are allowing lustful stuff, money, girls, all the things that you can last after, they may be subtle, but they are engineering and affecting your desires and lust, and soon it is going to land you in trouble. So young minister who wants to serve the purpose of God to the highest, keep yourself from youthful lust and stop company with people that will only fuel your lust, whether for money or for sex. Don't entertain anything in secret or in the public. Don't allow it. You see, allowing them is the problem. The moment they are allowed into your circle, they become problematic. Think about it. How would a Nigerian young man desire an Indian woman as a wife? It is possible because of the things he has watched and the things that he watched. Many are lost in certain strongholds like fair ladies, certain body shapes, and make shipwreck of their ministries because unknown to many people and secretly people are not aware they are struggling with it because they entertain it and it is ensnaring them, it is harming them. If you are young, watch it. Don't allow carnal stuff into your space, whether from somebody talking to you about it or you yourself spending time to watch it on the television. Guard your eyes, guard your mind, guard your heart from these things because they are going to affect you. You may not see the results now, but tomorrow, if you don't take care, you will be defenseless when they show up in real life temptations. And that's how many find themselves in troubles that they never thought was going to come. Now, the second thing he said was that he was terribly attacked by the spirit of lust. Now, I was really blessed when he said it because most ministers of God who are making waves today will never talk about a challenge they have had. And this is one of the signs that probably he has recovered from it. He said he was terribly attacked by the spirit of lust. Now, two ways about these things. Many members don't believe that their pastor can have lust. And many ministers do not admit to their lust until it is too late. Whether lust for money, lust for fame, lust for girls, don't think you can't be attacked. And don't think that your man of God is free from lust. It is possible for any man of God. Now let's talk about the stance of members. Most members think their pastors are spirits who don't have feelings. And so when they see signs of lust, they still don't run. They stay around till they have sinned with their ministers. And that's how, surprisingly, you see members have done a lot of wrong things with their man of God. Because they thought, oh, this couldn't have happened till it happened. And because most ministers also do not admit to their challenges and therefore look for solutions, they allow these things into their space, even when there are signs that somebody is coming at them with something that is going to make them fall. They allow it because they think, oh, I will not fall. When the Bible says, flee youthful lust, run in any direction, they still allow it because they do not admit that, oh, I will fall to this thing. Listen, that is when you actually fail. So, minister of the gospel, be sincere to yourself and look for solution to your struggles instead of pretending nothing is wrong. Don't cover it with spiritual jargons. Find a mentor and a leader and receive help before it is too late. Listen, these things are real and many young ministers are in this ditch, yet they are refusing to recognize it because today it is happening, nobody is aware of it, but then tomorrow the enemy is going to stream it live on Facebook and YouTube and you are going to be very hot. If Satan can't prevent you from answering the call of God on your life, he will definitely stop you with your own lusts. Yes. Why do you think he asked Jesus to jump off the temple? It was a test of his pride. If Jesus had pride, he was definitely going to jump, and that would have ended his ministry right there because God would not have sanctioned that. Why do you think he asked Jesus to bow for the glories of the earth? He said he was going to give to him because it had been delivered unto him. It was the last of the eyes and materialism. If Jesus had lust for the things of the world, he was going to bow and then the glories were going to be given to him. But then he was also going to belong to Satan, and so he had failed in his assignment. Any of these things could have ended the ministry of the Lord Jesus Christ if he bowed, but he didn't. And so you also, this is not the time to bow to lust. This is not to allow it in your wardrobe. It is going to come at you later and it's going to bite very hard. So please watch it. Don't take it for granted. If you are struggling right now in secret, people don't know you are struggling, don't shove it under the mat and be shouting glory, glory. Listen, get a mentor. Get one that you trust, that you can open up to, and let them help you. And the third thing was that, and this was said very, very fast, most people wouldn't have gotten it. He said, you may hear somewhere that this apostle was into fornication. This was said very fast, I know, but I caught it.
Wow.
You would have heard that this apostle was into fornication somewhere. Because when the attack came, it was heavy.
Oh, wow.
It was heavy. I go to pray, my mind is noisy. I can't even pray. I carry the Bible, I sleep off. Until God began to help me. And it took me step by step.
But
tomorrow it may come up. So if it comes up tomorrow that this man of God did ABCD in the past, understand that he has already opened up and said it. It happened and he cannot run away from it. So you that you are young, you are coming up, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to learn from these things. You understand? You shouldn't have a knowledge of something that can come up tomorrow that will ensnare your whole ministry. Unfortunately, there are many people who are gathering so much of these things in their wardrobe. And then when the time comes, Satan will have a lot of material to stream on Facebook and live. He's going to send you on a live Facebook and you'll be surprised. The things you are doing in secret right now, the things that you're entertaining, you are talking to girls anyhow. Hello, I miss you. I love you. You should have come to church earlier. I would have married you. All these things, they are being recorded. Meet me at this hotel. Let's do ABC. Listen. You are being recorded. All those video calls you are having with girls saying, I like your lips, I like this, as a minister of the gospel, things that you are ashamed to do in public, but you are doing in secret, and you are doing some on phones, they are being recorded. Listen, the secret relationship you are having, though you are married, most of them, if you don't know, you are being recorded. Some of these hotels you are going to, you are on record, you don't know. The day you become famous and your image is all over the internet and on television, they will also bring their copies. How are you going to feel? Is it a time to cry? Is it a time to make amends? Yes, God will be using you, but then if the news of your evil deeds comes up today, a lot of people can't receive from you again, and that's when you are going to see how life actually is. So keep yourself from this lust. Don't do it. It's not worth your ministry. It's not worth your life. Now, this is one of the fearful things for a minister of the gospel. Very, very fearful that your waywardness is brought to the light. A lot of people in the past, when they did these things, they still survived because there were no cameras, there were no smartphones. It ended, and then only the victims had the knowledge of it. But then, in this era of cameras and smartphones, young papa, if you don't watch your steps and you think you can still do it secretly, yours may be streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm saying this again. Please listen. What I'm saying is that the enemy has more tools against you today than they had in the past. So don't play with lust, because it will soon lead you where you never will expect. And in the coming years, many of such will be coming up. So if you hear that a man of God has been on record, a man of God has been said this, watch out. I know with some people it will be setups and arrangements in order to disgrace them, but still there will be legit accusations that would have been caught on camera. Yes, you were set up, it was a temptation, but you fell for it, and so you have no excuse. And listen, if it happened to unbelievers and secular people, they have an excuse. They are secular people, but as a man of God, you are expected to be an example in a society. The least you can do is to have your standard above members. So what are you doing naked and jumping about with a lady that you are not married to on video call? Now, the fourth thing, and this is the last thing, I also want to know what you got from that video. You are supposed to go and watch it. I will link it in the description. Please go watch it. The fourth thing was on his relationship with Apostle Aromi Osai, and that relationship got destroyed and ended up pushing out of working with him in the same ministry, and now he's on his own. Now, the story was fascinating. I wish I could delve into it, but because it was an account of one man, so it's going to be a one-sided account and may not do justice to the whole story, I decided I'm not going to talk about it. But you need to listen to him talk about it and then take some lessons from it. I'm leaving the link of the interview in the comment and in the description. Please go check it out. I recommend you watch the interview, especially for the life experiences and challenges that a minister can have. And then you guard your heart with all diligence so that you don't fall into something that you don't want to find yourself in, trying to come out, trying to explain yourself, do you understand? Yes. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great time. Shalom.